I try on different hats to embody and represent how I'm feeling about where I should be in this course and what I should be doing. I catch myself in the camera and realise there's a recurring theme happening here and there's a dissonance to my self-image. I want to change that internally, but know that the only way to do it is to confront it. I reflect how play came up in my last inquiry and how play is important for me to be able to relax. The feelings that I have through this unit so far, I feel like there's so many good little beauties that are happening, but they're popping before I can get to them. I can't catch up. And as I blow these bubbles to re-embody this feeling, my dog starts to actually jump and catch them before they pop, which made me really laugh. I started to reflect on this and just looked at different angles of what these bubbles can actually achieve for me, as I looked at the sun shining through and just really watching how the shadows work, the forms work with the material themselves. So the material themselves have actually kind of directed me to and informing me of my inquiry. I'm realising the beauty in all this and really wanted to materialise this beauty and reflect on it even more with a different medium. So I go to my watercolour back in the studio. I look at my inkwell and realise that there's a bubble. It just popped. I start to reflect on what it could be looking like from a different perspective of when I was blowing the bubbles, and thought I'd wanted to start to play around with bubbles. And then I realised that I caught myself on the screen while I was recording this reflection. I caught my own reflection while I was reflecting, and I confronted this idea of, well, it's just me that's looking at the moment, and I can actually have fun with that. I notice my children do a lot of this kind of weird, strange faces when they're doing selfies. How come they can do it, but I can't? So I started to play with that and be playful and be childlike, and it really reminded me of the gurning and how ugly is actually quite funny. And how it took me full circle on how to be playful within my challenge that I have, and that was my access point of self-image, and how I didn't like what I had a lot of self-confidence issues of being present for someone, especially when I had my own, I could see myself. So I started to draw the ugly face, and I realised it was quite ugly, and it reminded me of these really ugly royals that have been painted in the past. Then that medium reminded me and informed me of a commedia dell'arte with the Italian masks that were used to represent different characters in plays, and how sometimes they were very ugly, but they were funny. I found this inquiry really interesting. I really noticed the content in process, and I noticed how I was able to come full circle. And I think I'd like to explore this inquiry more by looking into masks, characters, and materials to make those. I'd also like to inquire about how the recent mask wearing for COVID has actually confused emotions for a lot of disabilities as well.